So now to sew on our neckband. Again, I'm not exactly sure what people's levels are when it comes to sewing, but if you've taken the knit sewing class at Santa Ana College, you probably know that your rib neck needs to be a shorter length than your actual t-shirt, because if it's the same length, just the way circles work, like you're having a bigger circle, and if you want it to lay as like a smaller circle, it needs to be smaller. I don't know. Maybe it's the wrong class to explain this, but really the reason why people use a 1x1 rib trim or some kind of stretchy knit is because you have to stretch out the bottom so it fits around the neckline, and then the part that's not really stretched kind of lays flat around your neck. Long story short, this rectangle needs to be longer than our neck opening. Okay, so take it from me. Now, another thing is this particular designer does not want the seam, because we have to sew this rectangle into a circle. So this edge gets sewn to the other edge, and that causes seam allowance. It's kind of thick and clumpy. So this designer or pattern maker doesn't want it to line up perfectly at the shoulder seam because it just might be too bulky. So this notch represents the shoulder seam. And so they have that seam line kind of fall behind it a little bit on the back. How do I know this? I'm just kind of playing around with this, looking at the measurements. So when I click this measurement, it's 8.09, and so is this one. They're kind of the same. When I click this one, it's 5.43. This is not 5.43, but if I hold shift and click right here, added together, do you see on my cursor, it says 5.43. So it added them both for me just by clicking it. So 5.43 is the same as, right here, okay, fine, 5.437, but that's okay, close enough. So I know I'm telling you, hopefully you can follow with me, but this notch right here matches the center front. So this guy needs to be sewn here, this guy needs to be sewn here, this piece and this piece need to be sewn on the back neck, and this guy needs to be also sewn on the back neck. Now let's look at this. This is 9.1 inches, and this is 8. So again, this is a whole inch smaller, and that's just to keep it so it's not gaping when you wear it. So it's like that on purpose. It's okay. So how should we do this? I think for the first part, maybe the segment tool works fine. Let me try. I know we've been using that a lot. Yeah, it's fine. So it did sew a longer piece, a shorter one. Didn't really give us trouble. I'll just do it again for this side. Now here we have some issues. I can't just click, because I need to select this one and this one and tell both of those guys to sew over here. Okay, so this is where the other sewing tool comes in handy. You want to click and hold it, and we're going to choose the M to N free sewing. Okay, so and it's nice as directions. You see the little instructions kind of by the cursor of your mouse, so if you forget how to do this, it can kind of remind you. Okay, so this time you don't just click the segment. You click the start point, and then you keep cruising until you click the end point. Okay, so I want to sew that. I'm not going to press enter, so I want to keep sewing from here to here. Now I'm going to hit enter because that's M, I guess, seam M. And now I need to go show it where seam N is, the next one. Okay, dokie. Okay, so the next one's gonna start here, and it's gonna, now do you see this blue dot? I love that blue dot, because that blue dot is telling me, hey, if you want your seam to match up perfectly, click this blue dot. But I know that my rib is shorter. I know that my back neckline is longer, and I'm doing that on purpose. I'm going to go past the blue dot knowingly, and I'm going to click the center back. And then I guess for the last one, I could use the segment one, but I do want to show you the free sewing. It's kind of like the M to N. The M to N is good if you have like multiple different seams you're trying to get. If I just have two, I can just click here one time and click here. And then I go over to the last little spot and I just click the start and the finish. And that's it. So, oh, you know what? I forgot to hit enter when I did the M to N. I'm just noticing I don't see my stitch lines. Yeah, I'm going to click my edit stitch. I see no stitch lines, so I messed up. I'm glad I caught that. So I'm going to go back to my M to N, and let's try that one more time. So I'm starting here, click, click. I don't want to hit enter because I want more for M, I guess. Okay, M, now I'll hit enter. I'm on a Mac, I'm hitting return. I'm gonna pan over to my shirt of where I want the seam sewn, and I'm gonna see now it says it's on N, which is good, that's different from M. I'm gonna click here, going past that blue guy, click here, and you know what I need to do, which I didn't do last time? I need to hit enter / return. There we go, now I see my stitches. Okay, let's see here. So, okay, so now for the moment of truth. Are we ready? Let's go check this out. We'll see if we were successful or not. I can see the stitches going through her body because it's twisted, right? This seam is actually supposed to be over here behind her, but when I use the blue dots, the placement dots, you know, it really wrapped it up pretty tight around her neck. So let's see if this solves the problem. I'm gonna hit simulate, here we go. Cool, yeah. I think that looks good. I'm happy, where's my seam? There it is, I see it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna hit number 2. And there we go, that's it. So congratulations on sewing your first project. And when you're done, please screenshot the garment sewn up. And then I would also really like a screenshot of the seam. I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna unsimulate right now. I'm gonna click this little arrow tool and I'm gonna click kind of where the seam is. I'm gonna hit the letter F and then I can scroll in. I'd like to see that the seam is pretty close to her back shoulder. So I want to make sure you're able to do that as well. So if you can get a nice screenshot of that, that would be helpful as well. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions as usual.